Shalom. I'll be reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 to 34. Bear with me as I try to get through this, Yah willing. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahuwah, saying, verse 2. Thus spoke Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, saying, write in a book for yourself all the words that I have spoken to you. Write in a book for yourselves all the words that I have spoken to you. This is what he's saying to Jeremiah. Write in the book for yourself all the words that I have spoken to you. Verse 3. For look, the days are coming. So these are days that are coming. For look, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall turn back. For look, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall turn back the captivity of my people, Yisrael and Yehuda, declares Yahuwah, and I shall bring them back to the land that I gave their fathers and let them possess it. Verse 4, and these are the words Yahuwah spoke concerning Israel and Yehudah. Verse 5, for this is what Yahuwah said, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Verse 6, ask now and see if a man is giving birth. Why do I see every man with his hands on his loins, like a woman in labor, and all faces turned pale? Sounds familiar? Sounds like something strange we see today. It says, ask now and see if a man is giving birth. Why do I see every man with his hands on his loins like a woman in labor, and all faces turn pale? Verse 7. Oh, for great is that day, there is none like it, and it is the time of Jacob's distress, but he shall be saved out of it. Great is that day, and there is none like it. Sounds familiar? Sounds like what his only begotten Son spoke about? And there shall be a time of Jacob's distress, but he shall be saved out of it. And it shall be in that day, declares Yahweh of hosts, that I break his yoke from your neck and tear off your bonds, and foreigners no more enslave them. Foreigners no more enslave them. And they shall serve Yahweh their Elohim and Dawid their sovereign, whom I raise up for them. So this is concerning David. This is Jeremiah speaking of David after the time of David. So this is clearly prophesying the descendant of David, which is Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah. Verse 10, and you do not fear, O Jacob, my servant, declares Yahuwah, nor be discouraged, O Yisrael. So do not fear, nor be discouraged, O Yisrael, for look, I am saving you from afar. and your seed from the land of their captivity, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and they, and Jacob shall return and have rest and be at ease with no one to trouble him. Verse verse 11, for I am with you, declares Yahuwah, to save you. Though I make a complete end of all the nations, though I make a complete end of all the nations where I have scattered you, yet I do not make a complete end of you, but I shall reprove you in judgment, and by no means leave you unpunished. It's only fair, it's only just. Verse 12, for thus said Yahuwah, your breach is incurable, your wound is grievous. Verse 13, no one pleads your cause to bind up. There are no healing medicines for you. Verse 14, all those loving you have forgotten you. They do not seek you, for I struck you as an enemy strikes with cruel chastisement because your crookedness is great. Your sins have increased. Verse 15, why do you cry about your breach? Your pain is incurable. Because of your many crookedness, because your sins have increased, I have done this to you. Verse 16, however, all those who devour you shall be devoured, and all your adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and those who exploit you shall be exploited, and all who prey upon you I shall make a prey. Verse 17, for I restore health to you and heal you of your wounds, declares Yahuwah, for they have called you an outcast, saying, this is Zion, no one is seeking her. Sounds familiar? Verse 18, thus said Yahuwah, see, I turn back the captivity of Jacob's tent, and have compassion on his dwelling place, and the city shall be built upon its own mound, and the place stand on its right place. Verse 19, out of them shall arise thanksgiving and the voice of those who are laughing, and I shall increase them, and they shall not diminish, and I shall esteem them, and they shall not be small. Verse 20, and his children shall be as before, and his congregation shall be established before me, and I shall punish all who oppress them. Verse 21, and his prince shall be from him, and his ruler shall come from among him, and I shall bring him near, and he shall approach me. For who is this who pledged his heart to approach me, declares Yahuwah. Verse 22, and you shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. Verse 23, see, the storm of Yahuwah shall go forth in a rage, a whirling storm. It bursts upon the head of the wrong. Verse 24, the burning displeasure of Yahuwah shall not turn back until he has done and established the purpose of his heart. In the latter days you shall understand it. In the latter days you shall understand it. In the latter days. So this is clearly speaking of the latter days. Verse 31. At that time declares Yahuwah, I shall be the Elohim of all the clans of Israel. At that time. At that time. I shall be the Elohim of all the clans of Israel, and they shall be my people. At that time. Verse 2, thus said Yahuwah, a people escaped from the sword found favor in the wilderness, Israel, when it went to find rest. Verse 3, Yahuwah appeared to me from afar, saying, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I shall draw you with loving commitment. Verse 4, I am going to build you again, and you shall be rebuilt, O maiden of Israel. And again, you shall take up your tambourines and go forth in the dances of those who rejoice. Verse 5, again, you shall plant vines on the mountains of Shomaron. The planters shall plant and treat them as common. Verse 6, for there shall be a day when the watchmen cry on Mount Ephraim, arise, and let us go up to Zion to Yahweh our Elohim. Verse 7, for thus said Yahuwah, sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Cry out, give praise, and say, O Yahuwah, save your people, the remnant of Yisrael. Verse 8, see, I am bringing them from the land of north, and shall gather them from the ends of the earth. Among them the blind and the lame, those with child and those in labor together, a great assembly returning here. Verse 9, with weeping they shall come, and with their prayers I bring them. I shall make them walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way in which they do not stumble. For I shall be a father to Israel and Ephraim. He is my firstborn. Verse 10, hear the word of Yahuwah, O nations, and declare it in the isle afar off, and say, he who scattered Israel gathers him, and shall guard him as a shepherd. He who scattered Israel gathers him, and shall guard him as a shepherd. Verse 11, for Yahuwah shall ransom Jacob and redeem him from the hand of one stronger than he. Verse 12, and they shall come in and shall sing on the height of Sion and stream to the goodness of Yahuwah. for grain and for new wine and for oil, for the young of the flock and the herd. And their being shall be like a well watered garden and never languished again. Verse 13. Then shall a maiden rejoice in a dance, and young men and old together. And I shall turn their mourning to joy, and there shall comfort them, and shall make them rejoice from their sorrow. Verse 14. And shall fill the being of the priest with fatness, and my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, declares Yahuwah. Verse 15. Thus said Yahuwah, a voice was heard in Ramah, wailing bitter weeping, Rael weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted for her children because they are no more. Verse 16. Thus said Yahuwah, hold back your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for there is a reward for your work, declares Yahuwah, and they shall return from the land of the enemy. Verse 16, I'm sorry, verse 17, and there is expectancy for your latter end, declares Yahuwah, and your children shall return to their own country. Verse 18, I have clearly heard Ephraim lamenting. You have chastised me, and I was chastised like an untrained calf. Turn me back, and I shall turn back, for you are Yahuwah my Elohim. I have clearly heard Ephraim. Verse 19, for after my turning back I repented, and after I was instructed, I struck myself on a thigh. I was ashamed, even humiliated, for I bore the reproach of my youth. Verse 20, is Ephraim a precious son to me, a child of the lights? For though I spoke against him, I still remembered him. That is why my affections were deeply moved for him. I have great compassion for him, declares Yahuwah. Verse 21. Set up signposts, make landmarks, set your heart towards the highway, the way in which you went. Turn back, O maiden of Israel, turn back to these cities of yours. Verse 22. Till when would you turn here and there, O backsliding daughter? For Yahuwah has created what is new on earth. A woman encompasses a man. Verse 23. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, let them once again say this word in the land of Yehuda and in its cities when I turn back their captivity. Yahuwah bless you, O home of righteousness, mountain of set apartness. Verse 28. And in Yehuda and all its cities, farmers and those who journey with flock shall dwell together. Verse 25, for I shall fill the weary being, and I shall replenish every grieved being. Verse 26, and this I awoke and looked around, and my sleep was sweet to me. At this I awoke and looked around, and my sleep was sweet to me. Verse 27, see, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, that I shall sow the house of Israel and the house of Yehuda with the seed of man and the seed of beast. Verse 28, and it shall be that as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down, and to throw down, and to destroy, and to afflict. So I shall watch over them to build and to plant, declares Yahuwah. Verse 29. In those days they shall no longer say, the fathers are sore grapes, and the children teeth are blunted. Verse 30. But each one shall die for his own crookedness. Whoever eats sour grapes, his teeth shall be blunted. Verse 31. See, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall make a renewed covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehuda. Verse 32. Not like the covenant I made with their fathers in the day when I strengthened their hand to bring them out of the land of Mizraim. My covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, declares Yahuwah. Verse 33. For this is the covenant I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, declares Yahuwah. I shall put my Torah in their inward parts and write it on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Verse 34. And no longer shall they teach each one his neighbor, and each one his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, declares Yahuwah. For I shall forgive their crookedness and remember their sins no more. So we're in a time where everyone, for the most part, knows the Most High, knows Yahuwah. If not, is very, 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 very close to everyone knowing who Yahuwah is. It's not just any mere entity or mere God, Yahuwah. Verse 35. Thus said Yahuwah, who gives the sun for a light, who gives the sun for a light by day, and the laws of the moon and the stars for a light by night, who stirs up the sea and its waves roar. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. Verse 36. If these laws vanish from before me, declares Yahuwah, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever. So this basically corroborates with what his only begotten son was speaking about, until the sky, until the heavens and the earth pass, this is established. Verse 37. Thus said Yahuwah, if the heavens above could be measured and the foundation of the earth searched out, if the heavens above could be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I would also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, declares Yahuwah. So this is clearly this is clearly the Yah. This is clearly the Most High expressing and explaining through Jeremiah that the sky can't be measured by man, only the Creator, and the earth can't be searched out. The earth beneath cannot be searched out. Just saying, believe it or not. Verse 38, see, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, that the city shall be built for Yahweh from the tower of Hanel to the corner gate. Verse 39, and the measuring line shall again extend straight ahead to the hill Gareb, then it shall turn toward Goah. Verse 40, and all the valley of the dead bodies and the ashes, and all the field as far as the Wadi Kidrim to the corner of that horse gate toward the east is to be set apart to Yahweh. It shall not be plucked up or thrown down any more forever. Chapter 32, verse 1. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Yahweh in the 10th year of Zedekiah, sovereign of Yehuda, which was the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar. Verse 2. Now at the end, the army of the sovereign of Babel besieged Jerusalem, and Yirmiyahu the prophet was shut up in the court of the guard, which was in the house of the sovereign of Yehuda. Verse 3. And Siddiq, Siddiqiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda, had shut him up, saying, why are you prophesying, saying, thus said Yahuwah, see, I am giving this city into the hand of the sovereign of Babel, and he shall take it. Verse 4, and Siddiqiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda, shall not escape from the hand of the Kesdim, but certainly be given into the hand of the sovereign of Babel, and shall speak with him face to face, and see him eye to eye. Verse 5, and he shall lead Zedekiah to Babel and be there until I visit him, declares Yahuwah, though you fight with Kesdim, you should not prosper. Verse 6, and Yirmiyahu said, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 7, see, Yamuel, son of Shalom, your uncle is coming to you, saying, buy my field which is in Anathoth, for the right of redemption, for the right of redemption is yours to buy it. Verse 8, so Yamuel, my uncle's son, came to me in the court of the guard according to the word of Yahweh, and said to me, please buy my field that is Anathoth, which is in the land of Benjamin, for the right of inheritance is yours and the redemption. Buy it for yourself. And I knew that this was the word of Yahweh. Verse 9, and I brought the field which was Anathoth from Hamuel, my uncle's son, and weighed out to him the silver, 17 shekels of silver. Verse 10, and I signed the deed and sealed it, and took witnesses and weighed the silver in the scales. Verse 11, then I took the deed of purchase, that which was sealed according to the command and law, that which was open. Verse 12, and I gave the deed of purchase to Baruch, son of Neriah, son of Maheshah, in the presence of Hamuel, my uncle's son, and in the presence of the witness who signed the deed of purchase before all the Yehudim who sat in the court of the guard. And I commanded Baruch before their eyes, saying, verse 14, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, take these deeds, both this deed of purchase which is sealed and this deed which is open, and put them in an earthen vessel so that they remain many days. Verse 15. For thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, houses and fields and vineyards shall again be brought in this land. Verse 16. And after I have given the deed of purchase to Baruch, son of Neriah, I prayed to Yahuwah, saying, verse 17, Ah, Master Yahuwah, see, you have made the heavens and the earth by your great power and outstretched arm. There is no matter too hard for you. Verse 18, who show loving commitment to thousands and repay the crookedness of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty El, Yahuwah of hosts, is his name. Verse 19, great in counsel and mighty in work, for your eyes are open to all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his deeds. Verse 20, for you have set signs and wonders in the land of Mizraim to this day, and in Yisrael and among other men, and you have made yourself a name as as it is this day. Verse 21, and you have brought your people Israel out of the land of Mizraim with signs and wonders, with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, with great fearsome deeds. Verse 22, and you gave them this land which you swore to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. Verse 23, and they came and possessed it, but they did not obey your voice, nor did they walk in your Torah. They did not, they did not do all that you commanded them to do. You brought all this evil upon them. Verse 24, see the siege mounds, they have come to the city to take it, and the city has been given into the hands of the Kasdim, who fight against it because of the sword and the scarcity of food and the pestilence. And what you have spoken has come about, and look, you see it. Verse 25, yet you, O Master Yahuwah, have said to me, buy the field for silver and take the witnesses, although the city has been given into the hand of Casdim. Verse 26, then the word of Yahuwah came to Yirmiyahu, saying, verse 27, see, I am Yahuwah, the Elohim of all flesh, the Elohim of all flesh. See, I am Yahuwah, the Elohim of all flesh. Is there any matter too hard for me? Verse 28, therefore, thus said Yahuwah, see, I am giving this city into the hand of the Kasdim, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and he shall take it. Verse 29, and Kasdim who fight against this city shall come and set fire to the city and burn it with the houses on whose roofs they burn incense to Baal, and pour out drink offerings to other mighty ones to provoke me. This is what they do to this day to provoke the Most High. Verse 30, for the children of Israel and the children of Yehuda have done only evil before me from their youth. For the children of Israel have only provoked me with the work of their hands, declares Yahuwah. It's what they do to this day. Verse 31, for this city has been a cause for my displeasure and my wrath from the day that they built it, even to this day that I shall remove it from before my face. Verse 32, because of all the evil of the children of Israel and the children of Yehuda, which they have done to provoke me, they, their sovereigns, their heads, their priests, their prophets, and the men of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, all of them, have done this to provoke the Most High. Verse 33, and they have turned their back to me and not their face. Though I taught them rising up early and teaching them, they did not listen to receive instructions. Verse 34, and they set their abominations in the house which is called by my name, to defile it. Verse 35, and they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to offer up the sons and their daughters of Moloch, to offer up their sons and their daughters to Moloch, which I did not command them, nor did it come to my heart. And they shall do this abomination to make Yehuda sin. And now thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, concerning this city of Israel, of which you say, it shall be given into the hand of the sovereign of Babel by the sword and by scarcity of food and by pestilence. Verse 37, see, I am gathering them out of all the lands where I have driven them in my displeasure and in my wrath and in great rage, and I shall bring them back to this place and shall let them dwell in safety. Verse 38, and they shall be my people, and I shall be their Elohim. Verse 39, and I shall give them one heart and one way to fear me all the days for the good of them and of their children after them. Verse 40, and I shall make an everlasting covenant with them that I do not turn back from doing good to them, and I shall put my fear in their hearts so as not to turn aside from me. Verse 41, and I shall rejoice over them to do good to them, and shall plant them in this land in truth with all my heart and with all my being. Verse 42, for thus said Yahuwah, as I have brought all the great evil on this people, so I am bringing on them all the good that I am speaking to them. Verse 43, and the fields shall be brought in this land of which you are saying, it is a wasteland without man or beast. It has been given into the hand of Kasdim. Verse 44, fields shall be brought for silver, and deeds signed and sealed, and witnesses be called in the land of Benjamin, and in the place around Jerusalem, and in the cities of Yehuda, and in the cities of the mountains, and in the cities of the low country, and in the cities of the south, for I shall turn back their captivity, declares Yahuwah. Chapter 33, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to Yirmiyahu a second time, while he was still shut up in the court of the guard, saying, verse 2, Thus said Yahuwah, who made it, Yahuwah, who formed it to establish it, Yahuwah is his name. Verse 3, Call unto me, and I shall answer you, and show you great and inaccessible matters which you have not known. Verse 4, For thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, concerning the houses of this city and the houses of sovereigns of Yehuda, which are thrown down against the siege mound and the sword. Verse 5, While coming to fight with the Casdim and to fill their places with the corpse of men whom I shall strike in my displeasure and my wrath, all for whose evil I have hidden my face from this city. Verse 6, See, I am bringing to it relief and healing, and I shall heal them and reveal to them the riches of peace and truth. Verse 7, And I shall turn back the captivity of Yehuda and the captivity of Israel, and shall build them as at the first, and shall cleanse them from all their crookedness that they have sinned against me, and I shall pardon their crookedness, and they have sinned, and by which they have transgressed against me. Verse 9, And it shall be to me a name of joy, a praise, and a pride before all the nations of the earth, who hear all the good I am doing to them, and they shall fear and tremble for all these goodness and all the peace I am doing to it. Verse 10, Thus said Yahuwah, in this place of which you say it is dried up without man and without beast, in the cities of Yehuda, in the streets of Jerusalem that are deserted, without man and without inhabitant and without beast, there shall once again be heard. Verse 11, the voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom and the voice of bride, the voice of those who are saying, Praise Yahuwah of hosts, for Yahuwah is good, for his loving commitment is forever. Of those who are bringing the offering of praise into the house of Yahuwah, for I shall turn back the captivity of the land as at first, declares Yahuwah. Verse 12. Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, in the place which is dried up, without man and without beast, in all its cities, there shall once again be a home of shepherds causing their flocks to lie down. Verse 13, In the cities of the mountains, in the cities of the low country, and in the cities of the south, and in the land of Benjamin, and in the places around Jerusalem, and in the cities of Yehuda, the flocks once again pass under the hands of him who counts them, declares Yahuwah. Verse 14, See, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall establish the good word which I have promised to the house of Israel and to the house of Yehuda. Verse 15, in those days, and at that time, I caused a branch of righteousness to spring forth for David, and he shall do right ruling and righteousness in the earth. Verse 16, in those days, Yehuda shall be saved, and Jerusalem dwell in safety. And, and Jerusalem dwell in safety, and this is that which shall be proclaimed to her, Yahuwah our righteousness. Verse 17, for thus said Yahuwah, for David, there is not to cease a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel. Verse 18, and for the priests, the Levites, there is not to cease a man to offer ascending offerings before me, to kindle grain offering, and to slaughter continually. Verse 19, the word of Yahuwah came to Jeremiah, saying, verse 20, thus said Yahuwah, if you could break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night, so that there be not day and night in their season, then my covenant, verse 21, then my covenant could also be broken with Dawid, my servant, so that he shall not have a son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my attendants. Verse 22, as the host of the heavens is not counted, nor the sand of the sea measured, so I increased the descendants of Dawid my servant, and the Levites who attend upon me. Verse 23, and the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, 20, verse 24, have you not observed what these people have spoken, saying, the two clans which Yahweh has chosen have been rejected by him? So they have despised my people no more to be a nation before them. Verse 25, thus said Yahuwah, if my covenant is not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the laws of the heavens and the earth, then I would also reject the descendants of Jacob and David my servant, so that I shall not take of his descendants to be rulers over the descendants of Abraham, Yishak, and Jacob. For I shall turn back their captivity and have compassion on them. Chapter 34, verse 1. The word which came to Yirmiyahu from Yahuwah when Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, and all his army, and all the reigns of the earth under his rule, and all the people fought against Jerusalem and all its cities, saying, verse 2, thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, sovereign of Yehuda, and say to him, thus said Yahuwah, see, I'm giving this city into the hand of the sovereign of Babel, and he shall burn it with fire. Verse 3, and you shall not escape out of his hand, but certainly be taken and given into his hand. And your eyes shall see the eyes of of Babel, and his mouth shall speak with your mouth, and you shall go to Babel. Verse 4, but hear the word of Yahuwah Zittiyahu, sovereign of Yehuda. Thus said Yahuwah concerning you, you shall not die by the sword. Verse 5, in peace you are to die, and as in the burning of spices for your fathers, the former sovereigns who were before you, so they shall burn spices for you and lament for you, saying, Allah's master, for I have spoken the word, declares Yahuwah. Verse 6, and Yirmiyahu the prophet spoke all these words to Zedekiah, the sovereign of Yehuda in Jerusalem. Verse 7, while the sovereign of Babel army was fighting against Jerusalem and all the cities of Yehuda that were left against Lachish and Azekah, for only these walls for only these walled cities remained of the cities of Yehuda. Verse 8, the word which came to Yirmiyahu from Yahuwah after sovereign Zedekiah had made a covenant with all the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim release to them. That everyone was to set free his male and female slave, the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman. No one was to keep a Yahudi, his brother, enslaved. And when all the heads and all the people who had come into the covenant heard that each one was to set free his male and female slaves and not keep them enslaved any longer, they obeyed and released them. Verse 11. But afterwards they changed their minds and made the male and female slaves return, whom they had set free, and brought them into subject as male and female slaves. Verse 12. Therefore the word of Yahuwah came to Yirmiyahu from the from Yahuwah, saying, verse 13, thus said Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, I myself made a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage, saying, verse 14, at the end of the 7 years, each one shall set free his Hebrew brother who have been sold to him, and when he has served his 6 years, you shall let him go free from you. But your fathers did not obey me, nor incline their ear. Verse 15, and you recently turned and did what was right in my eyes, each man proclaiming release to his neighbor. And you made a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name. But you turned, verse 16, but you turned back and profaned my name, and each one of you took back his male and female slaves, whom he had set free at their pleasure, and brought them into subjection to be your male and female slaves. Verse 17, therefore, thus said Yahuwah, you have not obeyed me in proclaiming release, each one to his brother and each one to his neighbor. See, I am proclaiming release to you, declares Yahuwah, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the scarcity of food, and I shall make you a horror to all the reigns of the earth. Interesting. Wonder who he's speaking about. Verse 18, and I shall give the men who are transgressing my covenant, who have not established the words of the covenant which they made before me, when they cut the calf in two and passed between the parts of it. Verse 19, the heads of Yehuda and the heads of Jerusalem, the eunuchs and the priests and all the people of the land who pass between the parts of the calf. Verse 20, and I shall give them into the hand of their enemies and into the hand of those who seek their life, and their corpse shall be for food to the birds, the birds of the heavens, and the beasts of the earth. Verse 21, and I shall give Zedekiah, sovereign of Yehuda, and his heads into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life, and into the hand of the sovereign of Babel's army that has withdrawn from you. Verse 22, see, I am commanding, declares Yahuwah, and shall bring them back to this city, and they shall fight against it, and take it and burn it with fire, and I shall make the cities of Yehuda a ruin without inhabitants. And that completes the reading of the Torah reading of the week from Jeremiah verse 30, chapter 30 to 34. Y'all willing, we be able to do this again next Shabbat. A lot, it's on timing. Hope y'all willing. But until then, I'm gonna bless us out according to the blessing that was given to bless the people, given to Moses to bless the people in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 23 to 26. Receive your blessing. May Yahuwah bless you. May Yahuwah barak you and guard you. May Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. May Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Until next time, peace, love, Shabbat shalom, love and peace.